Good evening, I'm Stephanie White.
And I'm Guy Ashley.
I think she saved my life, you know what I mean? Because, like, at that point, her and her photographer, Mr. Dillon, I believe is his name, they just, you know, like, I was so glad to see those guys. And, like, I passed out going out to the car. I was just overwhelmed.
That is photographer John LeCount of KTSP in Phoenix. He was talking about his arrest last night by authorities in the Mexican town of Agua Prieta. And the woman he referred to who saved his life was News Center 9 reporter Nancy Montoya.
Nancy is with us now to fill us in on what is going on in Agua Prieta and what happened to the Phoenix TV photographer. Nancy.
You know, Guy and Stephanie, it's very clear from our stories over the last 2 days that it's very tense and very dangerous in Agua Prieta right now. And photographer John LeCount became a victim of the violence he was covering. For the past 2 days, Agua Prieta has been under siege by city police who seem to be randomly arresting people. The arrests are almost always met with resistance and reciprocated with violence. All this comes from a confrontation between two political parties. Last night, Phoenix News photographer John LeCount found himself in the middle of the type of violence he came to take pictures of. He was taping an interview with an opposition party leader. He went back to his car to get another videotape when he says he was jumped by Agua Prieta police.
Maybe 5 or 6 guys came running on. They all had machine guns, and they just kind of grabbed me and ushered me across the street to this pickup truck, and I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on, and then they kept saying, "Be quiet, be quiet."
The photographer was taken to this heavily guarded building where he was beaten throughout the night.
I got tired of being kicked in the face and having automatic weapons, you know, the barrels shoved in my stomach and my face every time I turned around, and, you know, every time they'd walk by, I got smart to the game. I'd turn my head and cover my head so they wouldn't kick my face, and they kicked me in the groin, you know, probably, I don't know, 10 times last night. I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought they were going to kill me, you know.
We spent the night asking Agua Prieta police about LeCount. They denied he had ever been arrested, and then set up barricades all around the home of the opposition party leader LeCount had been doing the interview with. The next morning, the opposition party leader, Carlos Munguia, was taken into custody for questioning about the recent riot. Agua Prieta police still continued to tell us they knew nothing about what had happened to LeCount. We heard the Sonoran State Attorney General had arrived to take control. We tried to talk with him about LeCount, but were told to leave. But instead, we kept talking and eventually arranged to do an interview with the Attorney General, Carlos Robles Gustavano. He first denied LeCount was in custody, but after repeatedly insisting that he was being held and refusing to leave without him, LeCount was released. He was badly shaken and disoriented.
What a story.
Yeah, it's been some night.
Janine LeCure now joins us with the story of what happened. Janine?
Dave, Agua Prieta, Sonora, Mexico has been the scene of sporadic violence ever since the controversial national elections there last July. That violence has heated up over the past 2 days, and last night our colleague was caught in it.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Back here. Glad to see you.
Right around 10 o'clock this morning, photographer John LeCount was released after being held for 11 hours at gunpoint in the custody, apparently, of the Sonora, Mexico State Police. A crew from KGUN-TV from Tucson spotted LeCount and brought him across the border to safety.
He didn't trust us at first at all. He thought we were part of the Mexican police, but we grabbed him and brought him with us and physically brought him across the border.
I don't know who they are. I don't know why they wanted me. You know, I tried to explain to them that I was with the media and they wouldn't listen to me. Every time I asked them for something, they just looked at me and laughed. And one guy told me that don't worry about it because you're going to be history anyway. I said, well, this is it. You know, I'm never going to see my kid again, my wife. What do you think? And I kept, you know, requesting to the guy that speaks English to let me call my wife, my kid, you know, say goodbye, and they kept laughing at me.
This morning, John was loaded into a truck to be taken to the place where he would be released. He said that at that point, he expected that he would be killed. Throughout the early hours of this morning, the U.S. State Department, the Mexican Consulate, our governor's office and congressional delegation, the Department of Public Safety, local law enforcement, all of these people were working on a way to find John and free him. The actions of the Tucson reporter, though, who you just saw, seem to have made the critical difference. Nancy Montoya of KGUN-TV in Tucson went to the office of the Sonoran Attorney General this morning and refused to leave until our photographer was released. Dave, as you know, John is home tonight and he's well, and we'll be talking with him just a little bit later on.
Good, good. Thank you very much, and thanks again to Nancy for what she did.
Indeed.